So you want to create high quality video content consistently and you want to make it look easy, then you need to do what I did, which is clone yourself. Hello, I am Alex Sheridan's AI clone. I help him create content across multiple different platforms and distribute that content. I'm kidding, that's not even a thing, okay? Not yet, at least. But seriously, look, I've been creating video content consistently for years now on multiple different platforms while running multiple businesses, raising children, and living my life. And the only reason I've been able to do that is because I created an ultra efficient content workflow and process. Years back, I didn't have this, and I was trying to run around and scramble to create content all the time. And I was always playing catch up and trying to create my next post for the next couple days or the next week. And it was just a giant mess. Once I got my workflow and process down, game changer. I started creating better content more often in less time. And I know that seems weird to say because it almost seems like an oxymoron, but that's what a good workflow and process does. And in this video, I'm going to let you steal my Okay, I was figuratively, I didn't mean literally steal it. We got another one laying around or something? Okay, so I got 5 kind of core areas that I'm gonna run through here in terms of my exact content process and workflow. Number 1 is the pre-content creation setup. The time it takes for you to actually say, all right, I'm gonna go make videos, to actually hitting record and making the videos. We wanna squeeze that time down to as little as possible. If it's taking you 10, 15, 20 minutes just to set things up, that's gonna deter you from making videos because now you're just adding more time that literally doesn't need to be part of the process. Now, in terms of the equipment that you need, I made an entire video on just that. So if you need to pause this and go watch that in case you need some equipment and learn how to set things up, that's your video. But let's say you've got everything that you need, and in most cases nowadays, that's a smartphone and a decent mic to start. What you wanna do is you wanna start building out the process for you to record. And for me, it's really 2 key areas. One, it's recording outside or when I'm on the go. I've got a backpack specifically dedicated towards recording videos on the go. I've got my little tripod in there, I've got my lapel mic in there, and then of course I've got my smartphone everywhere I go. So if I'm gonna go outside and batch record videos, let's say, all I gotta do is really just grab my bag and I'm good. I get to where I'm gonna record, tripod comes out, lapel mic goes on, smartphone's powered on, and I'm creating videos. So again, we're minimizing the time it takes for me to go from I want to record videos to actually recording. Now my inside setup is a little bit different. It's a little bit more complex because I've got lighting now, I've got a different microphone setup. I'm using this Rode mic here, but I've got everything positioned in a way that I can set up my entire in-house studio in less than 60 seconds because I've got it down to where all I'm really doing is turning on a couple buttons, making sure everything's on, and then I'm ready to record. Number 2 is planning and content ideation. Most of my content ideas come from 3 core places. Number 1 is my customers, prospects, and my audience. Now this could be in person or virtually. Maybe I'm on a Zoom call with a prospect and they ask a couple questions, or they point out a couple key things and I'm like, ooh, I'm definitely creating some content from that. And I'm gonna show you what I do with those ideas here in a second. It's also sometimes the comment section, or maybe I get a DM or somebody responds virtually or on a social media platform. Sometimes literally they just ask the question and I just answer the question in the piece of content. Another place I get content ideas from is just by doing research. What's happening in the industry? What are people searching for? What am I seeing shift that I might want to talk about? What are some of the trends going on that I need to address? And when I think I've got an actual topic, I'm going to research that topic to see if it's being searched about, what titles people are using, what thumbnails people are using, what's the engagement like. I'm going to do a little bit of research here too. Now I would say this is a little bit more for the long form videos that I'm going to spend a good amount of time on versus some of the short form where I just take an idea or a question someone had and I answer it. And the last place I get content ideas from is from other creators, from other content. As you're scrolling the feed, as you're engaging with other creators, they bring up great points. And you're not gonna take their piece of content and use it, but you're gonna take the idea or maybe the concept or the subject and then take it and make it your own, put your own unique perspective or twist on it. So here's the important part of this process. As soon as I get an idea, whether I'm in a client call or I'm online or I'm responding to a comment or a question, I dump it immediately into my notes app or into a voice note. Now you could also dump this straight into your project management software tool like a Trello or a ClickUp or an Airtable. And you can even use Zapier automations to automate that. As soon as you dump in an idea, it goes to AI. AI transcribes a little video or makes a piece of content out of it or does some type of action that makes it easier for you to create content later on. For me personally, at this point in time, it usually just goes into my notes app. And I've got a section in my notes app where I just have content ideas. And I just dump ideas in there. And then when I'm ready to create actual content, I just pluck ideas out from there and start using them. Now, if you're one of those content calendar people, Fredrickson and I are remodeling our 3rd content calendar this month, where you really want to see something built out 30, 60, 90 days out, whatever that might be. A quick hack for this is you can definitely go to something like a ChatGPT, plug in who your target audience is, what your business does, write out the pain points, the challenges, the desires of your customer, and have ChatGPT build you out a 30-day or 60-day or 90-day content calendar. Some of them you definitely will use, other ones you'll scrap, but at least it'll give you some type of foundation. Number 3 in my content workflow is creating the actual content. If you want to create high quality video content consistently, you build a content machine. You do this by getting good in 2 key areas. The first one is repurposing. I'm going to take one piece of content and I'm going to squeeze that thing for everything I can possibly get. And if you're curious on how to repurpose video content like a pro, I made an entire video on that as well. The second part of this is batch recording. So I'll create anywhere from 5 to 7 videos and I'll just sit down and record them. It literally takes me about 30 to 45 minutes. For me, the once a week schedule allows me to keep things fresh, but also stay way ahead. And you'll find your own routine and schedule, right? So maybe for you, it's recording every 2 weeks. Now imagine you did that for a few weeks in a row. You're going to build up this bank of video content. So you're not operating from behind. I got videos I made a month, 2 months ago that I can now pull out and post versus having to create a video and then post it the next day or post it the next Monday. That's not a good place to be in. Moving on to number 4, post-production. This is where a lot of people get lost because they end up creating videos and then it just literally sits on their G Drive or their Dropbox. And that's where you hear people say, I got all this long form video content and I don't know what to do with it. How do I chop it up? How do I curate it? How do I get it to the different platforms? The reason that's a struggle for you is because you don't have an efficient process or workflow. So here's how we do it. As soon as I record a raw video, I throw it in my G Drive. I've got a Zapier automation that as soon as that video hits the G Drive, raw videos, it automatically creates a card in Trello. Now you can use ClickUp or Monday, Airtable, whatever you want to use. But basically you need a drive to put videos in. And then as soon as that hits the drive, it goes right to your card in your project management software tool. So the editor or social media manager, content director, whoever is in there can then pick that up and go ahead and run with it. Now, if you're doing this by yourself, of course, then you would just pick it up and run with it. But at minimum, now you're organized. You know where everything's at. And it saves you time and creates efficiencies because you're not having to do every little step along the way. Some of this is being automated. Now, for us, I've got editors that edit my actual videos. All the videos get uploaded in chronological order. They know to pull from the top. They pull from the top. They move it to in progress. And now I know that video is in progress of being edited. Once it's done being edited, they move it to ready for checking. I check the video real quick. And by the way, this is a great time saver here. Get frame.io if you're working with editors. This allows me to look at the video real quick. And if I've got feedback, wherever I stop the video and put the feedback in, it timestamps it for the editor. So if you didn't have this, you'd have to timestamp it like, oh, 10 seconds in, change this. 35 seconds in, change this. I don't need to do that because when I'm going through frame.io, I just stop the video wherever the error or the revision needs to take place. And I put my notes in there, hit enter and move on. So you can review a video in less than a minute. And for the editor, it's more efficient on their side because they know exactly where the revisions are. Once that video is complete, I'm able to move that card in Trello to edited videos ready to be posted and archived. Now, again, another Zapier automation here where as soon as that card gets moved into that card, into that category, it automatically takes that video that was in the G Drive folder. It creates a copy of it. The copy of it goes in edited videos ready to be posted. And the original video moves from ready to review to archived videos. Does that make sense? Hit me up if you got questions on that. Now, keep this in mind too. When you're talking about long form video content, whether it's a YouTube video or definitely a podcast or you're a guest on a podcast, typically you're going to need some type of content curation, which means who's going to go in there and select the right clips that you want to be put into editing. And that could be a content director or a social media manager. It could be you going through and picking those moments out. And nowadays we've even got AI tools like Opus Clip, or you can plug in that long form video and it will use AI to go ahead and curate all of those clips. You just plug in that long form video and AI goes through and it trims out the right clips at the length you want them with a hook in the beginning of it and a good message to follow through. Opus does all of that in minutes. And all you had to do was drag a long form video, upload. We use other AI powered tools like Descript as well to run the transcriptions. My point is there's a lot of tools out there that you can utilize. And number 5, the last part of my content process and workflow is content distribution and posting. And I don't really do anything crazy here, but I'll give you your options. 1, you can distribute and post content in app, meaning you're on YouTube, you're on LinkedIn, you're on TikTok, and you can just schedule content out. In most cases, that's what I do because it just works for me and it's pretty easy to do. Always make sure you're 1 week or maybe 2 weeks ahead so you're not coming into next week being like, all right, I gotta schedule my post for this week. You always want to come into your week having already scheduled all of your content for that week. Now, if you come up with extra stuff on the fly and you want to post it, then Cool, do it. But this is the foundation for the week. So you can start focusing on the next week or the week following or the week following. That's the key to staying ahead with content, because stuff comes up, life happens, business happens, you get busy, you want a new client, you're hiring someone new, you were traveling for a few days. So when you come into the week already planned out and ahead, you ain't got to worry about it because you're thinking about the next few weeks. The other option to distribute your content is you use what we call a scheduling app. There's a ton of them. I'm not going to go into all of it. Just Google scheduling app for social media. I would think about the platforms that you're going to be heavily using, because some definitely favor certain platforms and don't others. Some allow you to post on certain platforms and not others. So think about one that encompasses all of the platforms that you want to be posting on. And then the other option is you have a content director or a social media manager that's going to be posting the content for you using one of those first two options. And if you're curious how to get your content distributed to more of your target customers, your audience, you definitely want to check out this video right here, because I break down the top 4 ways to get your content out to more people, the people that matter to you. All right, so that's my process. That's my workflow. Now all you got to do is just execute it. Take the things you liked from this video, apply them. The things you maybe didn't like, or maybe it didn't fit in with your style or workflow or time management system, scrap them or adjust them or tweak them. And hey, before you go, I'd love to hear from you in the comments about what other types of videos and content do you want me to create for you. We want to help you create better video content more consistently, help you build your brand, help you become the #1 brand in your industry, and help you attract your dream clients through video. So if you've got questions, or hey, can you make a video on this? Can you touch on this? Could you explain how this works from A to Z? Drop it in the comments, and seriously, I'll jump in there, I will answer them, and I will create content based on what you give me. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time. Oh, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I mean, what are you doing? Seriously. Seriously, what are you doing though? Come on.